Hey, sports card fans, it's John, Wade Boggs fan. Hope you're all doing well. Today, I'm going to take a look at the top 10 PSA vintage baseball card sales on eBay for cards from the 1980s for June 2024. For the month of June, there are a few cards that don't normally show up on these top 10 lists, and there are a couple of new record high sales for the cards. Now, before I get to the top 10, if you see an asterisk next to the current VCP average price for a card, that means that that particular eBay sale was not included in VCP's database and therefore not part of the current average price calculation. All right, with that out of the way, let's go check out the cards. Let's start off at number 10. We have this 1987 Leaf Barry Bonds in a PSA 10. This one sold on June 16th for $2,606. It was an auction. There were 32 bids. The current VCP average price for a PSA 10 is $2,944. The record high sale was $4,500 back in February of 2021 through eBay. Now, there are 603 copies that have been graded a PSA 9. This one here is one of only 100 that have been graded a PSA 10. At number 9, we have this 1984 O-Pee-Chee Don Mattingly rookie card in a PSA 10. This one sold on June 30th for $2,750. It was an auction. There were 35 bids. The current VCP average price for a PSA 10 is $1,867. The record high sale, though, was $4,750 back in February of 2021 through a PWCC listing on eBay. Now, while there have been 530 cards graded a PSA 9, this is one of only 53 that have been graded a PSA 10. At number 8, we have this 1989 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card in a PSA 10. These cards normally do not show up on the top 10 list, but this copy did. It sold on June 16th for $3,049. It was an auction. There were 45 bids. The current VCP average price for a PSA 10 is $2,020. The record high sale, though, was $6,600 back in February of 2021 through a PWCC listing on eBay. Now, there have been over 31,000 copies graded a PSA 9. There have been a little over 4,100, though, graded a PSA 10. At number 7, we have this 1983 Topps Tony Gwynn rookie card in a PSA 10. This one sold on June 24th for $3,550. It was an auction. There were 27 bids. The current VCP average price for a PSA 10 is $3,314. The record high sale was $4,750 back in February of 2021 through a PWCC listing on eBay. There have been nearly 5,700 copies graded a PSA 9, but only 731 have been graded a PSA 10. Now, there was one other significant 83 Topps Tony Gwynn rookie card sale in June, another PSA 10 copy. This one sold on June 9th for $3,150. At number 6, we have this 1980 Topps George Brett in a PSA 10. This one sold on June 13th for $3,900. It was a best offer. The current VCP average price for a PSA 10 is $4,250, and that was the record high sale back in November of last year through eBay. There have been 992 copies graded a PSA 9. This is one of only 99 that have been graded a PSA 10. At number 5, we have this 1981 Topps Rickey Henderson in a PSA 10. This one sold on June 16th for $4,505. It was an auction. There were 46 bids. The current VCP average price for a PSA 10 is $3,203, but this particular eBay sale would represent a new record high sale for a PSA 10 copy. The previous high was $3,950 back in February of 2022 through PWCC. There have been a little over 1,000 copies graded a PSA 9, but only 100 have been graded a PSA 10. At number 4, we have this 1985 O-Pee-Chee Dwight Gooden in a PSA 10. This one sold on June 30th for $5,450. It was an auction. There were 28 bids. The current VCP average price for a PSA 10 is $2,040. So this eBay sale here would represent a new record high sale for a PSA 10 copy. The previous high was $2,325 back in January of 2022 through eBay. There have only been 51 graded a PSA 9. This one here is one of only 6 that have been graded a PSA 10. At number 3, we have this 1985 Leaf Roger Clemens in a PSA 10. This one sold on June 30th for $5,850. It was an auction. There were 46 bids. Current VCP average price for a PSA 10 is $3,768. So this eBay sale would represent a new record high sale for a PSA 10 copy. The previous high was $3,075 back in August of 2021 through Golden. There have been 441 copies graded a PSA 9. This PSA 10 copy here is one of only 47 copies. At number 2, we have this 1986 Topps Traded Tiffany Barry Bonds in a PSA 10. This one sold on June 23rd for $7,100. It was an auction. There were 28 bids. The current VCP average price for a PSA 10 is $5,004. The record high sale, though, was $16,000, reached twice. First on February 15th of 2021 through a PWCC listing on eBay, and then 3 days later through a different eBay auction. There have been 1,454 copies graded a PSA 9. Only 451 have been graded a PSA 10. And at the number 1 spot for June, this 1989 Bowman Tiffany Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card in a PSA 10. This one sold on June 9th for $8,900. It was an auction. There were 43 bids. The current VCP average price for a PSA 10 is $8,116. The record high sale was $23,800 back in February of 2021 through a PWCC listing on eBay. There have been 482 copies graded a PSA 9. Only 157 have been graded a PSA 10. Now, there was one other significant 89 Bowman Tiffany Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card sale in June, another PSA 10 copy. This one sold on June 15th for $7,951. Well, there you go. The top 10 PSA vintage baseball card sales on eBay for cards from the 1980s for June 2024. As always, would love to know in the comments what you think about the cards that made the top 10 list. And with that, that's all I have for you. So until next time, thanks for watching.